of the Catch Wrestling Alliance, where our goal is to help you to get better at wrestling, and then together we keep real wrestling alive. And by real wrestling, we mean catch wrestling. And actually, to give a little bit of background, since it's kind of the subject for today's podcast is so the reason why we say real wrestling when you're talking about catch wrestling is because a long time ago one of my coaches, Billy Robinson, wrote a letter to one of my good friends, or kind of did like a dedication letter to one of my good friends in Japan, Osamu Matsunami. And uh, Billy said basically like, eh, he said, keep real wrestling alive, right? So he was hoping that Osamu could help basically keep real catch wrestling going at his gym. And actually his gym is now considered like a historical landmark in Japan. So if you're ever in Japan, especially if you're in the Kyoto area, go ahead and check it out. Hopefully I can make it there sometime, because a few of my students have gone there already. So yeah, hopefully I can go out there one of these days. um, with that being said, let's go and get the announcements out of the way. So classes are back on at UCLA. If you can get access to the gym and enroll in it's called UCLA Recreation. So if you can enroll in the recreation classes, then you can train. Also, if you're not at UCLA, and then if you're in the LA area, you can totally train with us at Fight Science MMA. That's located in the area called Mid City. So it just means it's like right in the middle of the giant city of Los Angeles. So it should be kind of easy to find. Also, if you're not in LA and you're somewhere far away, you can always join the CWA Academy on our website, catchwrestlingalliance.com. We also have one-off classes there, so you don't have to join if you don't want to. But if there's something interesting that you want to learn about, we have one-off classes there, so you can just join that, or you can basically just purchase those and that'll be it. You can also support us on our YouTube channel. And then if you have something that you're good at teaching, you can also get your own website. We use Kajabi, and then there's like a month-long tryout in the show notes. So there should be a link there. You can check it out. Okay, we got all the announcements out of the way. So this came to my attention. There is a young wrestler on actually TikTok. So he's probably on all the other social media things, but I want to kind of show you the video. He does a little bit of a breakdown between folk style and freestyle wrestling. So I'm just assuming that a lot of people who are watching this or listening to this are in the United States. So you kind of know what folk style is, or we say like the basically scholastic wrestling, or the wrestling that we do in our high schools and colleges. So the rules will change between the two, right? But it's ultimately the same ultimate style, right? Folk style, and then the rest of the world does freestyle. So, but what people have to know is that both of them came from catch wrestling. So when the Olympic Committee wanted to start doing the modern Olympics again, what they did is, like, of course they said, oh, we got to do things like the original Olympics. So instead of doing like whatever kind of pancration and all that stuff, they said, let's take the most popular modern wrestling styles that are in existence today, or at least at that time. So one was a French wrestling. So they took that, and then they changed the name to Greco-Roman, and then catch wrestling was the most popular all other style. So they took that, and it was called amateur catch can wrestling. Then later the name changed to freestyle wrestling. So, but the thing is, there's like no submissions, and and they added a lot of points and very short time limits. So it's almost morphed into something different. So it's similar to that story or similar to that history is that in the United States, of course, we also love wrestling, and we took our catch wrestling tradition and put it in schools and colleges, and so the rules changed accordingly. So they kind of diverged, and they both changed over time. In a similar way with short time limits and different emphases on what's legal, what's illegal, what's valuable, what's not, and so you have the the collegiate style that we have today in the United States. They're both somewhat different, even though they have the same origin. But let's go ahead and get perspective of someone who doesn't live in the United States, who has only done freestyle and has looked at folk style. So check this out. It's only like 30 seconds.
American folk style wrestling is better than freestyle wrestling because it is a pure expression of what it means to wrestle. I'm not even American and I've never wrestled a full folk style season, but even I can admit this. Folk style wrestling emphasizes staying on top, being dominant, and fighting out from the bottom position. Freestyle wrestling just waits for the referee to stand them back up when they're on parterre. Don't get me wrong, I love freestyle. I've been doing freestyle my entire life. But folk style is a better expression of what it means to wrestle, and it captures the essence of wrestling way better than freestyle. I wish folk style was international because of this.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because in the United States we have this argument right now that um, we should just get rid of folk style completely because the rest of the world does freestyle, and so in order to even uh, in order to improve our our results internationally, then we should just scrap folk style completely. But the United States actually does very well in international freestyle competition, which in a way, some actually, I believe it was Ray Higuchi. Um, so Ray Higuchi won the gold medal. He beat um, one of our great up and coming wrestlers who was at Iowa, and then got the silver medal. Oh man, totally blanking out on the name. But anyway, Ray was saying that like he's had the most difficulty with Americans who have uh uh like folk style background, right? Because they're still doing things, or they're competing in freestyle in a little bit of a different way. So, um, so Higuchi is part of the Japanese team. I believe even some more Japanese wrestlers have come to the United States to just train in folk style. And right now, like Japan is really dominating in freestyle in both the men and women's division. So um, that's that's kind of a testament to the effectiveness, or at least like the learning of the different style, or the different approach to wrestling that folk style provides. But kind of getting back to the video where 2K Trent was saying, where it's like folk style is a more like a truer expression, or a more pure expression of wrestling. So he has a lot of good points. So when you mentioned, especially like the parterre thing, where parterre is basically like when you see in Olympic style wrestling, when someone just lies flat, someone gets taken down and they just lie flat. So what they do is they wait for the referee to stand them up, because if they get rolled over, they give up points, and so then if you get rolled over enough times, then the difference between in the score can be so great that you'll lose. They'll just stop. This is kind of like a mercy rule, right? That you get teched, right? So um, then people will just like flatten out and try to resist getting rolled over. And then after a few seconds, the referee will blow the whistle and you stand back up. So you restart. But in folk style, you they allow you to try to fight back up. You're not necessarily going to just lie there flat, you're going to go into what's called referee's position usually because it's a good so like for those of you who might not know, it's like when you're on your hands and knees, and it's a good position so that you can counterattack or you can stand back up to try to escape. And so these other things are valued in folk style that you just almost can't do in freestyle wrestling. But I think the United States women definitely are using a lot of these kinds of attacks. I think you actually are kind of seeing more of the women's freestyle division, not only United States women, but other women going into ref and trying to fight out. But it's not the most common thing, and it's not the most like I guess most taught strategy, even though it still works in freestyle. So I think that's what 2K Trent is really talking about, where it's like I'm sure the vast majority of freestyle schools in the world are teaching you to just try to base out and wait for the referee uh, to like stand you back up. So then you're not really learning these skills to escape, to counter, and you're just playing by those Olympic rules. So he values what he sees with folk style wrestling. But with that being said, I just want to draw the everyone's attention back to like where did these two styles? So the both he mentioned, he kind of um, he loves both of them, right? And he values both of them. But a lot of times, especially in my experience, I've been to the NCAA finals a couple times, and talking to people there, a lot of them don't know the history of their style of wrestling, and that it comes back to catch wrestling. So we're just gonna try to bring that back, right? So imagine thinking about like wrestling, yes, like where you can, if you get taken down, you can fight back up. There is a referee, but they're there mostly to protect you, keep you safe, to mark the pin, but they're not going to stop the action if you get taken down. And if someone's like on your back, you try to fight your way back out, right? So you can try to fight to get on top, to counter them, to stand back up. So in that way, catch wrestling is like the truest or the purest, also even like the most exciting expression of wrestling. And I think that's the part that unfortunately is missing, because say like right now the freestyle and folk style have more of like the infrastructure, right? They have everything set up for tournaments, competitions, and stuff. So they have everything set up, and people can kind of see a lot of examples right around the world of people wrestling in those rules, right? So also like jujitsu has all the infrastructure set up. So you see jujitsu tournaments like every weekend, like, and also we have world competitions with the IBJJF, ADCC, these other large organizations that all the best try to compete in. So uh, these other styles have that. Catch wrestling doesn't have that. But hopefully, by raising awareness, you get more people doing the truest expression. So, like I said before, it's like uh, 2K Trent mentions like the idea of like kind of fighting out instead of just like lying there waiting for the ref to stand you up, like in freestyle. Folk style has the way to fight out, but it comes from catch wrestling, right? Uh, Everyone's excited about jujitsu. Jujitsu has a lot of uh, submissions and stuff. So, but catch wrestling also has very aggressive submissions. A lot of it is actually really controlled positions, like neck cranks, double wrist locks, but people submit to those. So it has a lot of submissions as well, right? So there's the purest, or like it just depends on your criteria, right? So even if we're talking about like a self-defense aspect, catch wrestling has like the stand-up thing. So all the stuff that you would see in like Greco-Roman wrestling, you'd see in catch wrestling. Also, if you see in freestyle, you can see in catch wrestling, except for all the stalling and like waiting for the ref to save you, stuff like that you won't see. But if you want to see a continuous match, right, a continuous fight, right, from start to finish, where someone you go until someone wins, so there's like no time limit and stuff like that, then that is like the truest or the purest form of wrestling, your purest expression, right? Then has to be catch wrestling. Right? So let's go and look at the video one more time so you can see what I'm talking about.
American folk style wrestling is better than freestyle wrestling because it is a pure expression of what it means to wrestle. I'm not even American and I've never wrestled a full folk style season, but even I can admit this. Folk style wrestling emphasizes staying on top, being dominant, and fighting out from the bottom position. Freestyle wrestling just waits for the referee to stand them back up when they're on parterre. Don't get me wrong, I love freestyle. I've been doing freestyle my entire life. But folk style is a better expression of what it means to wrestle, and it captures the essence of wrestling way better than freestyle. I wish folk style was international because of this.
Yeah, it's exciting. Ultimately for me, the most exciting is catch wrestling, of course, because of all the stuff that he criticizes freestyle. You can actually kind of make some of the same criticisms for folk style, but if you take away all those criticisms, you can get catch wrestling, right? So take away the referees stopping you, right? So in catch wrestling, really the referee would only stop the match if someone's like definitely going to get injured, or if something illegal is being done, or to mark a pin, stuff like that. But there wouldn't be a time limit. Say back in the day, right? We do have competitions now where you'll have like a shorter time limit. So we've had 20-minute time limits, 10-minute time limits, like that. But you still have quite a bit of time to like actually wrestle. So to actually have a story unfold, right? So in that way, according to his criteria, catch wrestling's really where it's at, right? It really wins the day. All right. So if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free. But maybe let's kind of give you like a few more updates. So we have the members section of our YouTube channel. We've been answering questions there. We also with different videos. So if anything you're struggling with, we answer some direct questions, direct technique stuff there. Also in our CWA Academy, we have several courses in there to help you get the foundations, and then also once you do all that, then you get access to more videos, and we have a members only section that where basically you can similar to the member section where you can ask your questions, but you'll be in a community of people that can talk with you as well. Some of the people in there also train with me here in Los Angeles, so you it's up to you, right? See what you like. If you're interested in learning more about catch wrestling, then let us know. Or especially also if there's a topic that you want us to cover, feel free to comment. Let us know. You can also comment on our social media. If any way you need to get a hold of us, we'll try to find it, and hopefully we can answer your questions sooner than later. All right. Okay, so maybe we'll go ahead and keep this one short. I know we haven't been able to do a live stream in a little while, but I want to try to get back to it. The just schedule wise and stuff has been pretty difficult, but I'm going to try to keep everything on the regular. All right. So thank you for your support. Let's improve our wrestling, and then so that together we can keep real wrestling alive, and that's catch wrestling. All right. See you next time.